Welcome to our next edition of Beyond Looking Good with Miss Dinah Loomis.
Hi. You know, of course, Doc Che, that a lot of people now are participating in the blogging craze. And some are worthwhile looking at, and others are sometimes
OMG.
sometimes I just wonder, because I reviewed some of the blogs and some of them quite popular, and I look and I'm aghast because there's practically no content. Many of the blogs that I see, and it's supposed to be quite popular, are almost all just photographs. So because I have my own blog, and so it disorients me, because my thinking is, when you blog something, it's to give information and to update people on giving them trends, what's happening, and giving them words of caution or nuggets of wisdom to learn from. And sometimes, to my surprise, there are blogs that don't have practically any content whatsoever. It's just photos. So it looks like photo gallery. So I'm just wondering, what do you think of those blogs that are just almost all photos, and yet they are popular? Well, I really don't. I can't fathom that. What do you think, Che?
Well, actually, there are many websites that are catering to particular ways of communication. Like they have Pinterest, which where you post photos, snippets. It's like just a notepad where mostly there are photos. Instagram is like another one posts photos. Facebook is also like that, but it will depend on you how far you want to go. But blogging is supposed to be a little more in-depth, a little more of the explication, a little more of the threshing out of particular issues depending on what you want to talk about. The problem with a lot of people is it's more like they aren't really adept or familiar with how to use the internet in that case.
Yes. Well, I just wonder, because I just feel like, as a blogger myself, it's my moral obligation to give something of value, to share my experiences and stories that will be of value to them. They can learn from it, and that's the reason why I just could not help but remark, what did they say in it? It's just for the entertainment, or just to see photos? So you never know, because probably the people looking at it just wanted to see the photos.
Well, in that case, it would be more proper to use a photo-intensive site like Flickr, Instagram, unless what you're doing is photojournalism or a photo essay, in which case one picture will lead into another, will explain a particular thing, go in-depth, eliciting an emotion. Because, let's face it, photography, it might be a visual medium, but it only takes on the dimension of interest for us when there is an emotional content. And that's where the photojournalistic or photo essay comes into the fore. But in my case, for example, blogging would be more words supported by photos and other imagery like illustrations. Whereas, for example, if it's social, we call it social media, it would be on Facebook. Like you help people with certain bits of information you want to share, like something nutritious, something like it will help them out later on, something to think about, like sayings, etc., etc. And if you can go to interest, if for example, this is a nice restaurant, I'll take a photo of the food and the sign, and then I'll pin it. It's Pinterest. Or maybe it's like a scrapbook. Like if my interest is photography, this is a new camera, I'll put a picture there. But Facebook is more like general, so you can do anything with it. But for other people to be more effective, look for most of this stuff is free. So look for a free site that allows you to blog, allows you to post photos, allows you to post notes, because it used to be like in business now. Even if it's just a small business, you can go to MySpace. It's still active.
Okay.
Or you can take, for example, your pictures on Flickr, and then Pinterest for a scrapbook-like thing that you might want.
which among all the social media connections, which is really, shall we say, the most viral? I mean, it's like no limits. You probably know.
Yeah, okay, but of course, it's better if it comes from you.
Yes, because until I participated in a teleconference and a webinar with Daniel Post Senning of the Emily Post Institute, that's the only time I realized, oh, I'm missing a lot because I hardly go there. But now I realize Facebook and LinkedIn are limited in the sense that they're open to your friends, to your connections. But if you really want to go viral and global and fast, you want to be known right away, go to Twitter.
There you go.
Yes, because there's no limit. You can just connect and share and just go viral right away. And now I understand why celebrities, movie stars, artists, and well, just recently I saw how in just a minute several thousands came in to greet Justin Bieber happy birthday. That was the other day, and I said, whoa. I mean, just like that. So that I got a taste of how fast you can be immediately read. And that's Twitter.
That's true. Twitter is actually the second generation of texting because you're limited to the same number of characters and spaces, which is 140. And you are correct when you say that that's the way to go if you want to be really quick, because it's simple, it's direct, it's concise. You have a choice. You have no more problem. You can't do anything about it. You're limited to that 140. So, well, just for point of clarification, the other things you mentioned, like Tumblr and Pinterest and that stuff, they're very, very popular. However, they're not for professionals.
Oh,
because,
okay.
Yeah, but they're extremely popular with the younger set, Tumblr especially. And but of course, we are talking to professionals. This is not for teenagers and for just social. There has to be a point to what we're doing. So we're much more discerning when it comes to the things that we use on the internet. So, well, in closing, as far as I'm concerned, to blog effectively, start a blog. And if you're going to do a blog, be more eloquent, be more erudite, be more in-depth in your analysis when you're doing your blog, even if you're just sharing. Because if you just put a picture with no content behind it, with no emotion, it's not going to work. And you'll become more popular if you have a lot more to share in terms of something audiovisual. The richer the media you share, the better for everybody. Ms. D?
Indeed. In fact, from the webinar that I attended, Daniel Post Senning said, when you make a social media connection, what you want to achieve is an emotional response from the readers, from the people seeing your blog or your post.
So, this is Doc Che, wishing you more emotional postings on internet. Ms. D?
Goodbye for now.